spilled baby oil on the hallway floor.
What's up, y'all? Today I'm going to be talking about why Kanye West will never be able to top his 2010 album, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. There are a few albums in history that feel like a moment in time. A project so bold and yet so unapologetically ambitious and redefine what artists can do with their music in the early 2010s. Now, before the video starts, make sure you like and subscribe or else you're gonna fall down the stairs in the morning. Now, before we dive on into the album, you have to understand where Kanye was in his career. This album was made right after the infamous Taylor Swift incident that happened at the 2009 VMAs.
Thank you so much for giving me a chance to win a VMA award.
Yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. One of the best videos of all time.
This ultimately led to a lot of backlash from popular figures in music at the time. Everyone began to see Kanye in a new light rather than just a kid from Chicago who was good at making music. To add injury to insult, 2 years prior he also just got a relationship with his girlfriend at the time, which would be a big inspiration behind the creation of 808s and Heartbreak. And with all this going on, Kanye was still grieving over the loss of his mother, who passed away in 2007 due to surgery complications. With all of this going on in his life, Kanye will eventually retreat to Hawaii, where he built a studio and decided to make one of the most ambitious albums of his career. Now that we've got that out the way, let's talk about the album itself. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is a bold, cinematic hip-hop masterpiece that dives into fame, ego, and vulnerability, and is widely considered one of the greatest hip-hop albums of all time. The album doesn't hesitate to surprise you, considering from the opening track Dark Fantasy, you immediately know that this isn't a normal rap album. The album has amazing details such as the orchestration, the choirs, and all the other little layers that make it feel like one big movie. The album has hit songs like Power, which carries an energy so bold it makes you just want to run through a wall. This album also has one of my favorite features of all time by Rick Ross on the song The Devil in a New Dress. And his feature was so good, he even made his own music video for it. The album, in a sense, makes you feel, ironically, powerful, which is very impressive because it is very hard for artists to make you feel exactly how they want you to feel, especially when they're talking about things that are often not relatable. Honestly, I will go into detail about the cover art for the album cover, but I'm gonna let y'all look it up by yourselves. The album received multiple high praise reviews, even receiving a 10 out of 10 from Pitchfork, which is rarely ever done. Other notable names like Rolling Stone, Time Magazine, and New Musical Express also gave the albums very high scores. Most people thought that the album was nearly flawless unless your name is Anthony Fantano, who gave the album a 6, twice. Let this be a time to remember that some people's opinions just really don't matter. The album then went on to achieve big numbers, accumulating over 5 billion streams overall. And honestly, I can talk all day about the numbers, but that stuff gets boring, and I do not feel like talking about this shit. For the project, Kanye even brought in some of the most talented artists at the time, including Kid Cudi, Nicki Minaj, Rick Ross, Jay-Z, Bon Iver, Pusha T, John Legend, and more. This album is also responsible for Nicki Minaj's iconic verse on the song Monster that was nearly cut because Kanye believed that she had outshined him on his own song.
Mobile gangster with a bad bitch that came from Sri Lanka. Yeah, I'm in that Tonka color of Willy Wonka. You could be the king.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, she did slide, so I can see why Kanye felt that way. I probably should have already said this, but if you haven't already, please go check out Kanye's 35-minute short film called Runaway that's pretty much is a visual for the album itself. You probably should have already seen it considering it came out 14 years ago, but if you haven't, better late than never, I guess. More than a decade later, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is still one of Kanye's most renowned albums. It's not just an album, but a symphony of ego, pain, beauty, and chaos that has inspired plenty of artists that we now know today. And whether you love or hate Kanye, this album has proven to be one of the most boldest and most creative forces in modern music. I honestly don't think Kanye would ever be able to hit a height like this again, considering that time is against him. To put it into simpler context, the same way how LeBron can go back to being who he was in Miami is the same way how Kanye can go back to being who he was in that era. But at the end of the day, this is all just my opinion, and if you don't care for my opinion, then congratulations, I don't give a fuck.